Howdy, and welcome to the Texas Bucket List, the show dedicated to everything there is to see, do, and experience right here in the Lone Star State. First up, we visit a fort down in Eagle Pass, built just a few years after Texas became a state. But this fort doesn't just tell the history of the U.S. Army that's been here since 1849, it also talks about the history of Maverick County. Along the border of the Lone Star State sits Eagle Pass, its sister city sitting on the other side of the Rio, Piedras Negras. Since the 1840s, these towns have grown together. But the beginning of the Mexican-American War put the people on particular sides of the stream at odds. That didn't stop a bit of business between the border towns.
In 1849, we had what was called Camp Eagle Pass, and it was set up to protect the illegal trade that was going on between Mexico and the United States.
Joe Cruz has lived on both sides and now works for the city of Eagle Pass, helping tell its complex and copious history.
Growing up in Piedras and growing up in Eagle Pass, it's something quite unique, I would say.
We met up at Fort Duncan.
You pass by through the outside and it looks small. You really think nothing's in here, but once people walk in, they're very surprised at what we have inside.
The story of this former U.S. Army post doesn't just consist of two countries. It also involves the native people, a civil war, a Wild West Texas town, and a country or two that came together.
Eagle Pass's success has never been something that we've done on our own, but we've done it as a collective society.
Ramsey Cantu is the mayor of Eagle Pass, and growing up here has given him a unique outlook on life. It's not often you'll find a town rooted with Mexican, American, and even Native American stories to tell.
The one great thing about being part of this community is the cultures that we live through.
It wasn't long after the Mexican-American War that the fort's main focus was driving off Apaches. But the Civil War forced federal troops to retreat. As the battle between brothers came to a close, the last Confederate force in the field crossed into Mexico from Eagle Pass and buried a flag in the river that's become a tough topic in history.
We are the burial of the Confederacy.
It's a symbol that still makes most do a double take. And here in Eagle Pass, they play a significant role in the final chapter of the Confederacy. Hence the reason they feel it's important to tell the story.
Interesting history that we also have in Eagle Pass. The last Confederate battle flag that ever flew was buried in the Rio Grande here. And we have, on the border, we have a park named Shelby Park, and it's named after General Joseph Shelby, he is the one who buried that Confederate flag.
Obviously a lot of history with this flag right now. Is it something
It is.
that gets controversy for you guys?
In a way, sometimes it can, but it is the history, and it is the death of the Confederacy, and the death of the Confederacy was here in Eagle Pass.
Obviously the movement right now is kind of to get rid of things like this. Why do you guys keep it up and keep that history alive?
Since it's part of our history, we think it's our responsibility to show it and let people know what happened in Eagle Pass. So that's why we still have this information here. Honestly, we're glorifying it, but it's something that I think we should let people know.
In the same room, you'll find the story of the Black Seminole Scouts. It all started with 13 brave men of African American and Seminole descent that were some of the most revered and crucial contributors to the Texas Indian Wars.
They knew the area very well. They knew how to survive on very little. They knew how to manage with the little resources they had. And they were very good fighters also. 4 of them received the Congressional Medal of Honor. And they have a very beautiful history, very unique history.
During the Mexican Revolution, Fort Duncan was home to 16,000 soldiers, its peak population. But eventually, relations became a bit more civilized, and the fort was turned over to the city. Now, it's filled to the brim with stories that shape the region.
We take these opportunities very seriously to preserve our history, to know where we've come from and what is to come in the future. We are linked together, and the greatness that comes with all of that is the diversity and the opportunities of continuing to see our city flourish because of that.
Being from Eagle Pass, growing up in Eagle Pass, just the culture that we have, the mix, it's being at the border, it's the uniqueness of not seeing a difference going to Mexico and coming back. where it's all, to me, it's all one community as a whole, not two countries. It's only a river that really separates us.
Come down to Eagle Pass, come down to the border and see the history that we have, the history of not only Texas, but the history that encompasses being part of a Texas-Mexico border.
You want to hear stories about the fort, about soldiers, about Mexican Revolution, gunslingers, and so on, you need to come to Fort Duncan.
I had no idea Eagle Pass soared with so much history.
I know, right? Neither did I.